language or properties are.
Yeah.
About what your view on the natural properties or ethical language refers to. Right? What views you have on those issues are independent, logically, of the views that you have on what's right or wrong. Just like in philosophy of science, what views you have in philosophy of science, like whether you're an instrumentalist or a realist, are different from what scientific views you hold. There's no logical connection between having one set of views in the philosophy of science.
Use divine command theory, for example. Like if you said that what the good is what God commands, right? That's what the good is. That doesn't tell you anything about what God commands.
Yeah, it's a good example. But Helena just refuses to see reason on this point.
Yep, I think that there are some people who don't see them as Orthogonal, who see them as related.
Why is her? Does she sound low to other people?
Yeah, turn your fucking mic up, Helena.
Hey, be nice to her. I'll go over there and slap the fuck out of you.
Not nice to Helena.
Yay. You can be mean to all sorts of other people. You be nice to Helena.
I'm not nice to Helena.
You fucking will be. I'll go over and put my foot right up your ass. I'll break it off at the kneecap. You look funny to what's her face with a foot sticking out of your ass.
That sounds sexy, Gus. I actually prefer that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You'll think so when you're trade places with your duodenum to fucking get your shit done.
I know. Get it on it.
Fucking right, I will.
I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, you're waiting for a lot of things. You're cruising for a smack bottom. Leave Helena alone.
That's like leave Brittany alone, right? Leave Helena alone.
No, because I'm not breaking into mad histrionics under a friggin' cover somewhere with running eyeshadow. Do not mistake me for some powerless fruit somewhere just because I'm temporarily laid up. I will send you a whoopogram.
Are you feeling up okay, Gus?
Helena, we really can't hear you, sweetie. And I want to hear you. I don't know. Where's your microphone? What microphone are you using and where is it at? Is it plugged in? Is it selected?
Yeah. Yeah. Is that any better?
Nope.
It sounds like you're on the laptop keyboard and you're a bit of a distance away from it.
Yeah, like you're yodeling down the hallway at your computer.
If I'm not mistaken, you were 8.5 feet away from it, from the microphone.
He's an audiophile that knows these things, he doesn't.
8.5 feet with a cushion being shoved in your victim.
Yeah. Jack, what are you doing? Are you in the middle of a bagel joint again?
Do they sell fries in those places?
You're trying to resell a water bottle.
Refill.
No, refill one.
A refill, Phil. Are they arguing with you about the water or what?
No, I'm on a line.
That'll teach you. Eventually he'll be all like, I'm trying to refill a water bottle here.
Forget about it. Good. Time to
So I sent a message to Annabelle, Helena. I don't know if she's home or if she's awake or what's what, but it's been transferred over.
Thank you. She was just in a live chat with us a little while ago, 20 minutes ago.
Jesus, that's a loud noise. It's that
I don't
piercing.
know.
It's that piercing beep.
You get me surprised, Jack?
Well, I'm leaving.
Good.
До свидания.
That's right.
Yeah. Stalin. We meet again.
Once again, Dr. Jones, you have proven that there is nothing you possess that I cannot take away. Renee Belloc, now there was a villain. Eh?
What's the most ridiculous villain? Jack, I expect you to come up with a great answer for this one. Most ridiculous villain in the film.
That's a good question.
I know. Day of the Triffids.
Well, can they really be villains if they're not sentient? Annabelle, 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 Annabelle. I've been in the hospital too long.
Oh God, is CK here?
Kaka? No, or is he? I don't know. Oh, and there goes Helena.
Yeah.
See him. I can see him in the chat. So.
Yeah, I'm here.
Nice.
Kaka? See, now
Annabelle.
Helena
thinks that you're short.
Helena reappeared in the chat
Far worse than that, Jack.
I am short.
just so that she could be beside her buddy Annabelle. She reappeared in the chat.
I guess
Can
he
you
thinks that
hear me better now?
you're too short. Yeah, now.
Yes, we can. Yeah, now we can hear you.
Okay, good. Thank fucking God.
So we couldn't hear you before? What's the argument for that?
Not much point in doing that.
Don't talk like that, Helena.
I told you, Russian, climb down off her back, man, or I'll find a way.
Well, come on now. Thank God for that. Come on. What about redundant phrase?
And now we have the car horn.
Who's the weirdo with the long hair? Is that Josh?
Well, I'm not sure which one you're referring to.
No, there's two of them in here.
Nice.
Oh yeah, but I know that's Simon.
not the one that looks like Lou Reed. No. With long hair.
That's why I said weirdo. Simon doesn't look like a weirdo. The guy, it has to be Josh. It's Josh, right?
Oh,
What?
you need
What are
to
you-
write it down about.
Okay, no one's going to tell me. Fair enough.
Why are you saying thinks that I'm short?
All right. Sorry, that's what Jack said. I didn't say that. Maybe that was him.
Well, the Communist Manifesto dictates that you have to be short, so that's why we know.
My arse.
No, I mean why. I'm asking why he said thinks I'm short.
Well, you sound like one of the actors from Snow White.
She thinks you're too short.
Oh.
Oh.
I
This is a very good point from the live chat, and this happens a lot with you guys. It sounds like you're fondling poker chips. I do like that analogy. Who is that? And there's an echo.
It's probably Jack. If it's not Jack, it's Josh.
Hmm.
Josh regularly thinks nothing of doing some sort of light manual labor while he's also on a hangout.
It's true. I don't.
It's so true.
He thinks absolutely nothing.
He was giving a woman instructions on what she should do, with no thought for us
Yeah.
having a conversation the other day.
He'd run a vacuum if it wouldn't interfere with his ability to hear the chat too. He would.
Although,
There's
I
like
have to say,
zipper.
Tom
There's
Rabbit
always
was
a
in fact
zipper.
washing. Tom Rabbit was in fact washing his car the other day while he was talking to us. So,
Oh yeah, yeah. Fucking unrepentant, a lot of them.
yeah, they are. Bloody
I figured you
communist.
fuckers would just mute me if you wanted to.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's do
well,
that. Then.
I being on a
do that.
mobile now, I don't have that option, and you know it too, you dick.
There you go.
No, wait a
So-
minute. On mobile, they let you mute people.
How do you do
There
that?
you All sorted.
You
I've
gotta
muted.
click on the little avatar.
Well, Okay,
And
so I
you'll
click
see
on the
a little-
avatar, and here's what happens. Oh,
Mm.
I just muted you. Shut up.
what's that icon for? Okay, that mutes him. What's the flag one do?
Flags him.
So
Okay,
how
well
come
let's see what happens when we flag you.
when I mute? Well, how come when I mute?
Oh, that's an
Josh,
ignore thing. Okay, we're gonna cancel that. We would have heard your question, but Jack was picking that exact moment to hold his microphone up to the nearest NYPD car.
Is it a bit windy in New York, by any chance?
Yeah.
Look what I've fucking discovered. Look what I've discovered. Look at that. Look at that. Nice and quiet.
Wow, that's quiet.
Yeah, that's nice.
See? Look at that. From each according to his ingenuity, to each according to their annoyance.
You do sound a little better, actually. I was listening to you in a hangout yesterday, and you were a lot more your old self. And today you sound like your old self. Are you feeling a bit better?
A little. It comes and it goes. I mean, I woke up this morning just feeling like, and the nurses are always like, "Good morning," and I'm just like,
Yeah, but
Just-
you've been in there, what, 3 weeks now? So it must be driving you crazy.
Did you sleep well last night? Oh yeah. You know, I find as I get older,
Muted me.
Yeah, you said to mute you. You just said mute me, so I'm muting you, and I'm going to do
I
it
said
again.
all right, I'm not
figured- I said I figured
I'm-
you guys would.
I'm not talking
I'm
to
good.
anybody or anything. Penis breath.
What's that? Sorry, I guess I didn't hear you.
Yeah. Yes, you did. You prick. It's because you're putting together a Meccano set or whatever over there, and you can't hear anything.
Ah!
Shut up. Swear to God, this guy gets a little bit of ass and fuck, he becomes impossible.
I think he was pretty impossible beforehand, though, let's be honest.
Anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah, you know, as I get older, like different things, like when you wake up, different things sort of become available. Like speech doesn't become available the second you wake up.
It's not a little bit of ass. He's got a very big ass. It's not a little bit, Gus.
Okay. It's a rare occasion. It's a rare occasion when I accept correction from you without rebuttal.
There's no argument there that she's got a big
There's no
ass.
argument. There's no argument there. I have no leg to stand on. My criterion is woefully inadequate. That's right.
4 out of 10, though, remember.
I'd be arguing. I'd lose if I was debating against that Godless had a big ass. You could just see some professor in Princeton somewhere, eh? And to the proposition that Godless has a big ass, Guts will be arguing the negative. And
It's
I
like
could
one
just
of
see
those-
Jack. You just see Jack arguing for it, right? He just as he puts his hands behind his back and paces up and down in front of the Princeton Debate Society. It's like, I will show in the following particulars, with photographic evidence and excellent arguments and precepts for said arguments. But really, what it boils down to is just a brute fact. Godless has a big ass. I turn it over to my esteemed colleague because he's fucked and we all know it. See, that's how you have a debate, right there. Sorry,
So,
that's how you have a debate.
Jack, what are you doing for New Year?
I might go see Eyes Wide Shut.
You haven't seen it
Diddle
before?
the bad thing.
Is that song actually used in the movie, or was it just used in the trailer?
You know what? I think it was only used in the trailer, but it was still funny
Yeah, it was a great trailer.
Yeah. Better than the movie, really. Stanley Kubrick was Stanley Kubrick was kind of like, I'm going to remind everybody I'm Stanley Kubrick. I'm going to make a movie with partial nudity that nobody understands. Great.
Partial nudity.
And it's going to have Tom Hanks wandering around wide-eyed at the concept of people having sex, as if Tom Hanks has never seen that before.
Not Tom Cruise.
Right. Which would have been funny if it was Tom Hanks, really. Tom Hanks and legs wide shut. That would have been funny as hell. Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't like that.
I hope to God, you know. Well, no, it's not really a likable movie, huh?
Very predictable. Just
It's
that.
That's the one with them. Isn't that the one with both of them, with Tom Cruise and what's her name?
Nicole Kidman, yeah.
Yeah, and wasn't it supposed to be really shit?
Yeah.
It's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Is that because it's very? Is that because it's like a porn film in disguise? Is that why you like it so much, Jack?
No, that's just a bonus.
All right, okay. So what is it about the film that you like? Because, you know, I have you down as someone that's quite knowledgeable about films. So why have we got an echo?
Just a minute.
Just wonder if I could articulate it.
We're pretty good at articulating things usually.
Yeah, but you know, I actually have always found it very difficult to talk about why I think things are good aesthetically. It's much easier to criticize things, I think, than to sort of explain why something is good. Don't you think so?
No. I mean, I can tell you my favorite films, but they're probably low-hanging fruit type, low-brow type, trashy commercial shit to you. So
No, I don't know about that. I like a lot of commercial movies. Just tell me a few of them. Let's just get a taste.
okay, I tell you my favorite film of all time, and that's Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Okay. Well, I saw that one.
See, you don't even know what it is.
Well, I like Michael Caine. Well, what else?
So whoa, back up a minute. You like Michael Caine. What about Steve Martin? He was brilliant in that film. His comedy timing was excellent.
You might be right.
I love Steve Martin. I think he's hilarious.
So I can do a brilliant Ruprecht impression. Do you want to hear it?
A brilliant what impression?
Ruprecht.
Ruprecht?
No, sorry, you didn't watch that film. I know you didn't.
I saw it in first run. I saw it when it came out.
Well,
But that
Ruprecht was the main character in the film, so you didn't remember it then. So you obviously weren't that impressed by it, right?
No, I wasn't really.
There you go, you see.
But give me some others. You know, that might just be a fluke.
Oh, you want me to go a little more highbrow? I don't know, Chocolat.
No, you don't have to go more highbrow. I like lowbrow movies, but it's just.
I know. Sorry. I'm going back down there.
Well, like another film that is on top of my list is Trains, Planes, and Automobiles, because I'm just a massive Steve. Talking of Steve Martin, I'm sorry to change. And you need to see it. It's hilarious. Talking of Steve Martin, have you noticed there's been a bit of a hoo-ha about him because he said something really innocent about Princess Leia or Carrie Fisher?
Yeah, he basically made the roughly the same mistake as somebody alive during the days of Marilyn Monroe, except that he said it about Carrie Fisher instead of Marilyn Monroe.
What he said was she was a beautiful creature, and she was also very smart. And the stupid bloody, sorry, Helena, I have to say these words, SJW Brigade have turned on him because he made an innocent comment about, and all he meant was to make a nice comment. It just drives me insane.
Why'd you apologize to me specifically?
Well, because you know we have this issue with you and I about SJWs. You get upset when I start, having a go at them, and that's what I put it down to. It's this mindset that nobody can say anything without being jumped on them.
Do you want me to paraphrase, Helena?
When did I ever get upset about that?
The other day, a week, month, whatever it was, and you said something about how people keep accusing people of being SJWs, and you don't like that.
I said that about you?
No, I think you were generalising. I don't think you were honing in on me.
Oh yeah. Well, I think people are overusing SJW now.
Yeah, but you know what? Did you know what had happened to Steve Martin? Oh, Jack.
Jack,
What?
mute or something.
Yeah, we don't really want to hear crime going on.
Is John Candy? Is John Candy? I haven't seen Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Isn't that with John Candy?
Okay. We're talking about something else now, Jack.
You're talking about You're talking about attacking SJWs for being like political
You see,
correctness.
Helena, he's just gonna crap his pants when I turn up. You see what?
I'm not in favor of political correct norms.
Oh, I know you're not. Obviously, you're a sociopath, so we know that.
Oh, actually, now here's an interesting question, Annabelle. I was talking with Josh today because Helena had commented about how even Joe has started to want to humiliate people in debate. Joe Sonstein. And
yeah, that's your bad influence.
Right, exactly. And
Helena
was attributing.
In fact, I didn't say anything like that.
To the Pal Talkers. Well, we have a screen cap of Helena.
Even though she's saying she didn't say that, I would have to.
We have a screen cap.
Yeah, well,
somebody
show
can
the screen cap because
it.
I didn't say anything about him wanting to humiliate. That's something you added that part.
And it doesn't matter. In any case, the thing is, I was talking to Josh, and I was asking Josh, who is really behind the movement towards worse and worse behavior in our circle.
Yeah, well,
like who really?
Yeah, I'd have to lay that blame at the door of Josh and Godless to start with. Although they do claim not to be Pal Talkers.
It's Philip. It's Philip.
Justin, but that's underhand tactics from these guys, the passive aggressive bullshit.
I don't think Justin actually influences us. I think we influenced him.
Like, CK is atypical of the passive aggressive, bullshit.
I was thinking.
I mean, background making comments.
I mean, there's no question that Miguel is the most depraved in our group, but leaving him aside,
he may be the most depraved, but the influence.
He doesn't really influence.
You're not exactly innocent of deprivation yourself.
No, I'm not at all trying to claim that I'm innocent of depravity, but I'm just saying that Miguel takes things further than any of us. I mean,
deprivation. Can I use that word deprivation in two ways? Can you use that word in two ways?
No. Deprivation is when something is held back away from you that you need.
I wondered if you could use that as a way to explain something.
That's deprived. That's with an I.
You're talking about you're talking about depravity.
But that reminds me of that line. That reminds me of that line from West Side Story. I'm depraved on account of I'm deprived.
I don't think you're really actually, Jack. If I'm really honest, I don't think you're depraved at all. I just think that's a persona that you put on for the internet.
No, it's true. I'm actually a very kindly, empathetic person. But the thing is that
Jesus.
You're not kind or
I am sort of very interested in the dark side of things, So Josh actually thinks that I thought it was between me and CK, but Josh thinks that I'm actually the instigator of the depravity.
Phillip.
No, well, it's true that Philip has very extreme views, but I'm not sure he influences people to behave badly.
He's like the girl, and everybody's trying to impress him.
It's like there are these people.
No, what do you mean? The influencer is definitely you, Jack.
Yeah, that's what Josh thinks.
What do you mean?
So you don't think it's you? You don't think it's you?
I find that funny because I see Jack as a.
How can it be me? I barely even participate in it.
Jack's the leader.
No, I just mean in terms.
I find it funny because he's so easily disarmed. It's quite amusing to me.
Explain what you mean.
What I mean is,
If you mean recruiting other people to target people, I'm the least.
Well, it's not
involved.
just that. It's what I'm saying is, imagine a person who has fantasies about killing people, or maybe he doesn't even have fantasies about killing people.
Yeah.
But just meet somebody who somehow convinces them to participate in a killing spree.
Yeah.
Right? It's like that person, if they had never met that other person, might never have done these incredibly depraved things, right? And so I sort of have the sense that when people come into the Skype group, they become corrupted.
Yeah.
Out relatively in, whatever it is, like maybe it's unconscious impulses or maybe impulses that they've never been willing to act upon before.
Yeah.
Suddenly they're just like criminals.
It's the cult.
Right? And I'm trying to understand.
Thing. It's the not being able to move up.
Who do you think does things that they wouldn't have done before?
For example,
with the except for Joe.
What I said to Joe when I was still innocent about the Skype groups. Hey Joe, can you add me to a Skype group that talks about philosophy if there is one? And his answer was, work your way up.
Fuck off. Fuck off.
What's great about that?
I just gained so much respect for Joe.
What's great about that was that, the actual text, right, didn't convey that intonation. Like Helena added that, right? She dramatized it like a great actress.
But that's sort of an insane thing to say.
No, but Joe is unfortunately very easily led, let's be honest. It's not like he's...
Oh, no.
Joe. That's a corrupted Joe.
I
Joe
know.
doesn't want to be corrupted. And
it's not difficult to corrupt Joe. Look what Nina did to the poor soul.
Oh, actually, this is what I meant yesterday when I said that he's not. I don't think Joe is nice. He's just weak.
No, I think he's like no. I'm not going to have that from you.
Jesus.
He's a lovely guy. Well, he was a lovely guy.
Before he met us.
Exactly.
I have no idea.
Totally in love with
why do you think he was a nice guy?
You are.
He was a nice guy.
He's a fanboy of what you do, and
he bought me
bad word said against you.
He bought me a vegan burrito, CK.
Yeah, he took Josh out to dinner. He took Josh out to dinner.
And you still think he's your friend and he bought you Mexican?
But interestingly, it was Josh. Is
that the best example you have of him being nice?
It was.
Mind you, for Joe, that's an expensive meal out, though. So
it was Josh who hugged Joe goodbye, though, not the other way around.
Oh, that's nice of you, Josh. I thought you were a sociopath.
No, he's not.
Well, don't go fucking smearing my good name, Jack.
Your good name. No, give the fuck over.
It's very misleading to think of Josh as a sociopath. What Josh is a hothead who's filled with rage, right? He's a powder keg.
I actually quite like Josh because he's entertaining. Same with you, Jack, but the rest of them bore me, to be honest with you.
Shaking my head now.
No, okay, look, no, come on, Gus. Josh, when he yells at people, it's just brilliant, especially when he yells at JJ. That makes my day.
It's so fake, though. It's so obviously fake. A little too fake.
Because no, it's not fake. That's how Josh is. That's why. Look at how perfect he is for Godless and how in love they are. And you know why? Because they're exactly the same. It's true.
It's actually.
Josh has even started talking like Godless now. Have you not noticed that?
I know.
His whole tone is.
Josh has completely picked up Godless's accent.
Miguel and Justin are the ones who are actual sociopaths.
And CK.
Well, CK's a tricky case.
No, not really.
I'm an edge case.
CK's bored.
CK's bored.
Well, a lot of these pal talkers only really become mean when they're bored. What are you doing?
Yeah,
what are you?
I don't know. Where, he's got to be in the park.
I am in the park. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the last time you were in the park, that didn't end well.
Well, I'm not riding for fun. I'm actually
You
just
do spend an
trying to get
inordinate amount
across
of
the park.
time in the park, and we know what you know. That's very strange to me. Why are you always in the park? I want to
You
know.
know, what's interesting is I take a lot of pleasure in walking through the gay cruising area in the park.
Yes. So
Actually,
What exactly kind of pleasure are we talking about here?
I just find it very fascinating to see what goes on there. I mean, it's just kind of amazing.
Can
Do
you
you
imagine? No,
Yeah,
wait. Can you imagine being some gay dude just minding his own business, and along comes this squirrely looking guy, and he says, "I find what you do fascinating." Can you imagine? Just like that,
Well,
eh?
that would be his
Like
yeah.
How is it? Do you
fascinating.
Was
actually
this?
talk to them and ask them what they're doing?
Yeah.
Have
Could
we
you
lost
tell
that?
me exactly what happens when you get together with a friend?
No, I'd love
How can you be riding your bike in the 30-degree weather?
Oh, it's Floyd.
I'm
You're breaking
I
up,
have the
Jack. You okay, Gus?
Do I not sound okay?
Yeah, your breathing doesn't sound too good.
No, you sound like you're in pain.
Yeah.
No, not really. This microphone is really like high gain. A lot of the
Yeah,
stuff that you wouldn't pick up if I was back on my headset.
It makes
You
you
guys
sound
are
like
getting now.
JJ. Can you not buy a headset with some of that money that we got you?
What the hell? What the hell? Is somebody doing weights?
Jack.
Jack,
What?
fucking come already. Come already and let's go. Jesus.
He's watching the gay men in the park.
No, they're not out in this weather, unfortunately.
They're not.
That would be amusing.
Honey, nobody goes out in this kind of cold. Go home.
So anyway,
the-
why do you always? Is it because it's easier to walk across the park from one venue to another? Is that why you're always in the park?
Well, that's part of it. I live on 72nd Street, so I live a block away from the park.
Yeah.
On the west side, and so if I spend a lot of time on the east side because that's where all the museums are along Fifth Avenue on the east side of the park. So I'm always crossing the park to get to Museum Mile. So that's
I'd just
part
like
of
to
it.
point out to anybody listening and to the people in the hangout that the 72nd Street on the west side is an affluent and expensive part of town for a communist.
Oh, I have a rent controlled
Yeah, it's
apartment.
even worse.
I have a rent controlled apartment. I just thought you might like to know that I have a rent controlled
I
apartment.
couldn't afford to live there if I had to pay.
So it wasn't rent
rates.
control.
Yeah.
Thank you, rent control.
And I have a rate too, so in a 1-bedroom. So
And a one bedroom with
I was biking a lot in the park, because it was a convenient time for me to get exercise. Because I can't always get to the gym when it's open. So in the warmer weather, that's what I was doing when I got mugged. But I sort of gotten a little bit discouraged since that incident, so I haven't been biking there.
No. Well, at least you didn't go all Bernard Getz.
Wonder what happened to that guy. Actually, I had the same lawyer. I had his lawyer.
Why
He
do you have
faded
a
it.
lawyer?
This is
Sorry,
a funny
what?
story.
No, hang on a sec. Why do you have a lawyer in the first place?
Well, I'll tell you the story. I was in my local library branch, and this guy came up to me and said, this guy came up to me and said, hey, I really loved you in Cinemania. I used to be a projectionist, and I love movies. And I talked with him for a few minutes, and he said, well, look, I'm a lawyer now, and if you ever need any legal help of any kind, I'll be happy to help you for free. I couldn't believe
Yeah,
it.
like the next time you decide to knock an old lady flat on her ass in a movie theater.
So then
I was just thinking
I looked up this guy. You know, he gave me his name. I looked him up and I found out that he was like this. He had like this crazy legal career. Like he defended Bernard Goetz. I think he was had some involvement in the JonBenet Ramsey case. And he married the Mayflower Madam.
The Mayflower Madam.
Yeah, Sydney Biddle Barrows. He married her. He was married
talking
to her
about the
when
John
I
Benet
met.
Ramsey case. The BBC ran a really good documentary on that over the Christmas period, and it turns out that it looks like it was her brother that killed her.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm not sure they made the case, but it's definitely something to think about.
Well, had they been able to use the evidence and the questions have been asked and the crime scene, you know, then it would have been.
No, totally. Had they actually been able to fucking question the kid, but every time they tried to question the kid, his family formed ranks, and because they were politically connected, ... Right.
And also, they didn't. They actually went. They actually CNN interviewed them before the police did. I mean, the incompetency of the whole case is just mind blowing.
Oh yeah.
Because I always had it down because at the time I wasn't. You know, I was in the US at the time it happened, and I wasn't really that interested because life was taking me in. But I always thought it was just some pervert that had her, right up until I watched that documentary. I do love the sounds of Manhattan while we're in a hangout. Nothing like it. Does make me a little bit homesick, though.
So wait, is John Candy in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see that though, so I can't comment on it. I do like John Candy though, but I
you
guess
have to think if you like John Candy and you haven't seen Trains, it's his best film.
No, I think I looked that up. You know, I didn't see that at the time, but I think later I read about it and I thought, you know, I really should see this. I'm trying to remember who directed it though. I'll have to look that up.
I think Steve Martin directed it.
No. It's somebody else. I'll look it up when I get off the bike.
But he is a director as well. But the best bit for me is the bit where he's trying to get on a plane at Thanksgiving. Gobble, gobble. Sorry. You know what I'm talking about, right, Gus?
Mm-hmm.
I want a fucking car.
So,
or when they're lying down together, it's like, so are you comfortable? Yeah, my hands are here between these two pillows.
Those are pillows. No, my favorite, the bit where he's walking up the runway with his suitcase behind him, that's just fucking brilliant.
Yeah, he's ragging on John Candy and he's walking back and forth with his little suitcase behind him like a lonesome dog.
It's like this massive 747 takes off over his head. The whole thing. I just love Steve Martin's facial expressions.
I have something nice to show you, actually. I'll turn on my cam.
Oh, this is exciting. We get to see
it's not girls who are trying to get into a club either.
That was a hell of a fucking hangout.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tough one. I was more like I was playing devil's advocate on that one.
There,
I did
how about that,
weird.
Annabelle?
What's that?
Oh, don't. That's
what is
the
that?
Library, right? Oh no, it's MoMA.
That's the Metropolitan.
Which
Metropolitan.
Which museum is it? Yeah, sorry. It looked for a minute. It looked like the library, but I realized
it does look
that
a lot
you were
like the library. That's probably
every goddamn Gothic building in New York looks like the library. What are you talking about?
You make me want to be there. I haven't been to New York for 2 years, and it's like I miss it so much.
Well, there's Floyd. There's Floyd. But you guys better watch out, man. He's a fucking murderer. Look at his eyes. Look at his eyes.
I'll take another shot of it when I walk back. So, all right, give me a few more titles, Annabelle. I'll look up Planes, Trains, and Automobile when I get off the bike. Automobiles.
It's so hard for me to, because I'm one of these people that I'm not like you. Once I've watched the film, I'm really over it.
The Steve Martin movie that I like is not really one of his comedies. Pennies from Heaven.
No, I've not seen it. I'm a big comedy fan, and old 80s comedies, not the the new. Well, I don't think they do good comedies anymore. I can't remember the last time there was a good film that was really genuinely funny.
Well, tell me some more that you
Okay,
like.
well, I'm just going to keep throwing commercial shit at you. So
That's okay. I'm not against commercial films.
Okay, Trading Places. I could watch that film over and over again. Happy New Year! Sorry.
Well, that's a film I would see again. I mean, I've only seen it on TV. So.
Did you see
Those men tried to have sex with me. They tried to bend me over. Sorry. Okay, carry on.
Did you see those two dudes appeared? They had a guest appearance in Coming to America.
Oh, that's another great film.
You mean Don Amici and Ralph Bellamy?
Yeah, there's two bums that when Simi and the other Eddie Murphy's character, they walk down the waterfront and they basically take a whole bunch of money and stick it in a paper bag and throw it to the first two hobos they find. And the first two hobos they find are those two guys from Trading Places.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And one of them, Don Amici, looks at his brother, or at his friend, and says, "We're back in business."
Well, that was directed by John Landis, who seems to be an interesting talent. I would see that again.
What was that? What was that one John Landis movie though that went horribly wrong and somebody got killed? It was in
Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Twilight Zone, yeah.
And then from that minute onwards, the studio stopped giving the big directors carte blanche and started watching them really carefully, which caused a lot of movies to suffer, if you ask me. I mean, I don't know.
Sorry, go on. Oh, sorry, I apologize.
No, I was just going to say, I don't know. I can't even begin to talk about how badly Return of the Jedi suffered because of studio interference. Just like how, by the time they were finished with it, it was basically a copy of Episode 4, really.
Oh, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is John Hughes.
Something immoral needs to happen soon because I'm getting bored as fuck.
Well, tough shit.
Oh, we can talk to Helena about this.
We have to listen to you lot rattling on about fucking philosophy for hours on end.
Well, actually,
now you're going to listen to my inane conversation, okay, Josh?
Or you could play a little home game for the neurotics out there. See how many times you can bang your head against a solid object before the stars come out.
But actually, I'd like to hear Helena's response to the examples that I gave.
Yeah, bitch, hurry up.
Can I just tell Jack about one of my highbrow films that I like before you guys go on?
Yes, tell me.
Battle of Algiers.
Oh, well, that's a masterpiece. I've been trying to get CK to watch that.
Have you? CK hasn't seen the Battle of Algiers. What a racist!
God, he would love that movie.
Yeah, but the problem is though it doesn't comport with the labor theory of value, so he's not going to see it.
He was a communist. The director was a communist.
Really?
Yeah.
Hang on. When did you recommend this film to me?
I don't remember. When we were talking about communist movies.
But he must have seen the Battleship Potemkin though.
No, he hasn't seen that.
You haven't seen the Battleship, and you call yourself a communist? Get hence to your film closet and see the Battleship Potemkin.
I think that one might be a little bit more challenging though, because people who aren't used to silent movies, I think a lot of people have difficulty. No, I just think a lot of people find silent movies like they find it hard to be engaged by them.
You know what I wish would come back for one or two movies just for fun? Do you remember the old sing-alongs with the bouncing ball? Remember? The old sing-alongs where they print the lyrics on the screen and then there would be like a little luminous ball that would bounce
that
from word to word.
Well, that used to be
time.
a regular feature of the before the feature in
to get
exhibition.
to get the punters settled down, you'd get them singing.
Yeah, they'd sing a song. Yeah,
that's right. That's right. Started in Great Britain along with other strange notions of cinema going.
Actually, I saw
St. Elmo's Fire.
Which one?
Oh, St. Elmo's Fire. Yeah, I was turned off seeing that movie because I I got to listen to the title track to that on the radio 750 times a day for 4 straight months.
I don't think that one's for me, even though it has hotties in it. But
I tell you, there's a post '80s movie with Frank Wally and Jennifer Connelly when she still has that sort of soft roundness to her.
She's on the, you mean before the breast reduction surgery?
Whichever.
One of the greatest crimes.
Was called the movie called Career Opportunities, and it's Frank Wally and Jennifer. Yeah, to you too, buddy. Frank Wally and Jennifer Connelly end up holed up in a department store.
Well, that's the one where she
night.
rides a rocking horse. There's
Yes,
that
she
scene of
does.
Her on a rocking horse. Oh my God.
Yes, she does, and for 5 minutes I forget everything.
Yeah.
And then suddenly it comes back to me one little piece at a time.
I can't believe that her agent told her she should get breast reduction surgery, and she listened.
Probably wasn't her agent.
That's what I heard.
Big boobs can be a curse, you know.
Apparently they were. She won an Academy Award as soon as she got the surgery. It's just crazy.
Those are tough on your back. Most of the ladies I know that get breast reduction surgeries because they're really tough on their back.
But Annabelle, I went to a screening of Battle Algiers with the director there. He was like 84, shortly before he died. And Edward Said, the famous left-wing intellectual, interviewed him on the stage afterward. Okay, Helena.
Gilo Pontecorvo.
Yeah, Gilo Pontecorvo. He only made, I think, 4 features.
It just was such a brilliant film.
Yeah, it is.
Amazing.
And that guy was an actual counterterrorism expert. He wasn't an actor.
Well, that's what was so amazing about it, was that it looked so real. It was so cleverly done. When you think it was made the year I was born.
Wow, that's wild.
I mean, it was so before its time.
All right, so Helena, explain to us.
I look at some of the movies that were made when I was born, and I just want to puke. Like, oh, are you kidding? Really? That won an Academy Award in 1971? Yeah.
71. There were some good movies that year, though.
Says you.
You don't think so?
I can't recall one.
Let me look.
Okay. Helena, what you doing?
French Connection, Dirty Harry.
Okay, the French Connection I'll give you.
Last Picture Show.
That's one. What's the one?
Carnal
What's that
Knowledge.
one? Oh my God.
Clockwork Orange. Come on.
Oh, well, Clockwork Orange. Come on.
Clockwork Orange was hilarious. The reason I found a Clockwork Orange hilarious is because I know Stanley Kubrick he's infamous for wanting like millions of takes. So I'm imagining that scene where McDowell's character wallops the dude beside him with his riding crop right across the fucking thighs. And I'm just thinking, this isn't right. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. The guy's like, my legs, my beautiful legs.
What's that British film with the minis in Italy? Oh, for goodness sake.
The Italian Job.
Oh, that's a brilliant film.
10 Rillington Place was 71.
And the other English film with oh God, I hate it when I get these. With the guy who played Jesus. Hang on a second, let me give you a hint. He was a gangster in London. Oh,
that narrows it down.
Yeah, I know. Long Good Friday.
Oh yeah, with Bob Hoskins.
Bob Hoskins, that's who I was trying to remember, yeah.
I think Bob Hoskins is one of those people that was born that precise size and shape.
There's a lot of British movies that are out there that probably Americans have never even seen, because we don't really have a film industry. But when the Brits make a film, they do quite well.
What were you saying, Josh?
An example I offered was like at Divine Command Theory, saying in Divine Command Theory it doesn't tell you what is good, it just tells you what the nature of good is.
Yeah, so why is Helena resistant?
Helena,
I'm not really following.
Helena seems to think that there are certain philosophies of science that imply what scientific theories you're going to find
Well,
acceptable.
it's a more general claim. Stanley Fish has an argument that theory doesn't direct practice, right? So the argument is something like, if you have metaethical views, they don't tell you what your metaethical views are doesn't dictate what your positive ethical views are. Just like what your position in the philosophy of science is.
The definition of an
going to-
argument is a conclusion supported by premises, right?
Can I just say something really quickly? Jack, the pianist. Sorry, carry on.
The pianist, but the Roman Polanski film?
Yeah, the one about the Jewish guy playing the piano for the
Yeah,
Nazis.
that was a good one. That was
Love
very
that
good.
film. Go on, carry on.
So what your views are in philosophy of science doesn't dictate what your actual scientific views are, right? And what your view on the theory of truth isn't going to tell you what you think is true, right? But Helena seems to think otherwise, and I've been trying to get her to articulate.
Jack.
Yeah.
Fargo.
Oh, that's a wonderful one. I just saw Joel Cohen and actually I was at the other branch of the Met Museum last weekend, and Joel Cohen and Frances McDormand came in to the same
I love Francis
exhibition.
It's just brilliant.
I think they live in my neighborhood.
Okay, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It's the only sci-fi film that I've enjoyed ever. Oh, and of course, 28 Days Later.
Oh yeah, that one was good.
So Helena doesn't accept the argument.
Right. Thank you. Yeah, well, I don't know. We've been trying to get her to explain why she doesn't accept the argument.
Goodwill Hunting.
But what
Never
is the
saw that.
argument, Billy?
Well, I'm not sure how to argue it really, so much as to use examples to show it. It's kind of like something you need to be able to see. Intuitive.
Well, this is fascinating.
Well, I don't know why Helena isn't responding.
So
Maybe
he
she had
thinks
to go
there's a
walk
sort
her
of
dog.
general. He thinks there's sort of a general principle about
Yeah.
meta views and views.
Yeah.
It seems true in the examples you gave.
Right, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you.
All right, Annabelle. Have a good holiday.
Are you counting down the days, Jack?
Yes.
Gonna watch the balls fall all over Times Square.
Annabelle.
What, guy?
Gonna watch the big balls fall on Times Square.
Are you asking me that?
I'm talking no, because you're in England and you can't do that.
I know. I just
No,
want
I'm asking Jack.
A ball, not ball.
That.
No.
I was never allowed to
see the
do
fireworks,
that.
so.
When we lived in New York, my husband refused to put. I was there for 2 New Year's Eves, and my husband would not go anywhere near Times Square. So I had to. We had an apartment in Forest Hills, and Forest Hills is what it is, what it says it is. It's on a hill, and you can see pretty much the entire Manhattan from there. So we used to watch the fireworks from our apartment because you could see it.
Cool.
High as a kite on coke and drinking, but we could still watch it.
Does
Anyway,
Helen agree with the examples that you gave?
I will see you later. Take care.
All right, bye, Annabelle. Where is she?
She's gone.
No, I'm asking you. Helena's AFK.
I think she set the examples, but she just doesn't. She thinks there must be exceptions.
Well, I don't see any reason why there couldn't be exceptions. Are you guys saying that there can't be exceptions?
Well, I think it's sort of to misunderstand the relationship of theory to practice to think that there could be exceptions.
I don't know. I mean, it's just going to depend what views are considered meta.
I mean, if you take any positive domain of inquiry, you can make that into a philosophy of, right, in which you ask higher order questions. The first order field, right? That's what philosophy of science is. That's what metaethics is. That's what philosophy of history is. That's what philosophy of art is, right? But the actual practice of those domains of inquiry, right, isn't actually informed by the theory, by the meta theory.
It got quiet in here.
Helena, we wanted you to respond to the examples.
To the examples of movies?
Yeah. No, to the examples that I gave where I was talking about how one's theoretical, second order theoretical views don't inform practice.
Oh. Well, I don't think I heard the examples you gave, but
well, you've heard them before.
Well, so in general, I kind of agree with that article, right? But I think that he seems to be making a really strong claim that to me seems too strong, which is that your sort of higher order philosophical stance on something can't influence your mundane daily decision.
Wouldn't entail.
Well, he seems to be saying can't.
It
never
can't
does,
entail
and in
it.
fact can't.
No, it can't entail it. He's not saying.
Well, can't. But by entail, you were just saying that sort of the other view isn't a contradiction. So if that's all he's saying, that's not a very big claim, right? It's just saying that it wouldn't cause a contradiction.
In other words, it doesn't follow that you have a given second order theoretical view that you ought to have some approach as to
there can be correlations.
Yeah, they might be correlated, but that doesn't show that there's something irrational about.
Yeah, but I think that's all that Helena means. I think she means that there's going to be a higher likelihood of people believing.
Yeah, but Fish isn't contesting that. He's saying.
Well, I think Fish is saying something stronger than what you're saying he's saying. I think he's really saying that they just don't ever influence, and that in fact it seems to
that would be a claim about psychology, right?
Thank you so much.
Well, yeah, I don't like it when philosophers use "that's a claim about psychology" as though it can be dismissed. I mean, to me, that's kind of
he's not making a.
It kind of goes along with
psychological. He's not making.
The hell he isn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Show me.
And I doubt that he would make
that
a claim about psychology in that way.
He wouldn't. Helena's completely wrong.
Am I completely wrong?
It's not really Fisher's style.
Wrong, but go ahead. If you want to go through.
I love how long the word through was.
Of us exposing you. Go ahead, try to show us where fish.
It's not the kind of thing I think fish
Where
would
he's
ever
making
be
a psychological
interested in.
claim? Let's see if I can see. See if I can find a spot where he might be.
Which article is it, Jack? Can you post a link, someone?
It looks like it's a chapter from his book called Why Philosophy Doesn't Matter.
Right.
And it's called Truth But No Consequences. Or maybe that's just the name of the title, the name of the article itself.
Yeah, I don't think he has a book with that title.
Yeah.
What's your name?
So I guess the argument I was bringing up, I think that you'll say is a psychological claim. So you'll just say
You
it's
agree it's a
irrelevant.
psychological claim, right?
Maybe.
Why would it ever not be? Like if you're just saying that having a certain...
It seems to me that it's linked to psychology, right? It seems to me, at least my reading of it, is that he's saying that someone who has a certain sort of underlying philosophical stance, it's got nothing to do with his mundane activities and decisions, and have anything to do with his mundane decisions and activities and behaviors and things. That because everything is local, right? So. Hey, do you need something?
Is how could the actual content of your meta view, your meta theoretical, like your theoretical views, how could they inform practice?
If there's something else, just let me know, okay? All right. How could they? Well, what was wrong with the example I gave?
Well, let's go through that example carefully.
All right, so take somebody like your favorite person, Gary Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
He has these sort of higher order philosophical stances that involve sort of we should strive to do the best we can to access reality. He might even say truth is that which corresponds to reality. That
all right, so let's just go with that, the correspondence theory of truth.
So
right?
Studies should seek to get as close as they can to mapping reality accurately, stuff like that. So I imagine that stance that he's got would cause him not to choose to do a constructivist type study if he were tasked with doing some kind of study exploring some phenomenon, because he would think that constructivism generally is bullshit. So I see that as a mundane everyday decision being guided by a higher philosophical stance.
I don't see why they're...
Look, you say, if you're just saying something is not going to yield something that's true, right? Like if you deny social sciences, that's not based on your theory of truth. That's not based on the correspondence theory of truth, right? You're just saying those aren't the types of things that could be true.
Well, wouldn't he say that those aren't the kinds of things that could be true because they don't correspond to reality? Whereas somebody who
I don't understand how
thinks
it's
that
like
truth
what Eleanor.
is more of a matter of constructing, would have no problem doing a grounded theory study or something like that, where the whole point
How
is
is what
manufacture
Eleanor
a truth
Kubler-Ross
based on consensus.
How is what Eleanor Kubler-Ross says somehow inconsistent with the correspondence theory of truth? Get it?
Well, it was a tentative study, right? Designed. I mean, I guess you would defend her by saying, look, it was a tentative study. It was designed to start research, and people misunderstood me. But if you don't want to defend her that way, you could say all she did was go to a hospital and interview a bunch of people and construct this this milestone theory just based on what
Okay,
maybe
but
50.
give me an
Answer
example.
the question. Answer the fucking question.
Give me an example. Give me an example of a claim that she makes, right, as the
Okay.
outcome of her research that you think contradicts the correspondence theory of truth. I just don't get it.
Give you a claim.
Look, one person could say look, she could be a correspondence theorist. Gary Edwards could be a correspondence theorist, right?
Okay.
So if they're both correspondence theorists, there's just a disagreement on whether or not the shit is true. It doesn't have anything to do with the correspondence theory, right? It just has to do with whether the shit is true.
Right, but suppose that the constructivist theorist is not somebody who's a correspondence theorist.
Suppose they are,
Where
suppose they
think that
aren't. It doesn't matter either way.
differences.
It doesn't matter either way.
Well,
They're
but
both.
Saying that
But
Gary
I think
Edwards,
that there's a better counterexample.
because of his principled beliefs, philosophical beliefs, would never even engage in creating a study.
Look, I'm a
that involves,
correspondent. Let's say I'm a correspondence theorist. Let's say I'm a correspondence theorist, and so is some flat earther that I'm arguing with. I say flat Earth doesn't correspond to reality. He says the flat Earth corresponds to reality. You're arguing that in virtue of the fact that we disagree about something being true, that one of us is acting inconsistently with the correspondence theory of truth?
No, I'm not arguing that at all. What I'm saying is that someone who isn't a correspondence truth theorist would do a study that someone who is a correspondence truth theorist would never do. And I think that you can trace that back to their belief in truth, what truth means.
Who's that person that entered?
By the way, did somebody go after Jeff Keller?
That's
Did
just
CK
me.
go after Jeff Keller?
Where? Where is he?
Go after Jeff Keller?
Where
He's
is
in
he?
Tom's.
Okay, I'm on it.
Yeah, what I'm asking you to do, Helen, take me through that step by step, like why one would follow from the other.
Okay, so
Are you saying it logically follows, Helen?
what logically follows?
Are you saying that he would be irrational if he did do the study?
No. Well, I'm saying he would find it irrational to do that study, and that is because of this deeper belief that he has. So I think it's an example of somebody who could be, it's a hypothetical at least example, of somebody whose sort of deeper philosophical commitments seep out into their mundane everyday decision making.
But when you say seep
So what
out,
kind of study you do? Influence.
but I think it's clearly true that meta views do influence people's views.
Right, but I think Fish is saying that they don't. And not only don't they, but they actually can't.
I think what Fish is saying is that there's no reason that they have to.
If that's all he's saying,
more than
that's
that.
no big deal. But I think
He's saying that.
I think he's saying something
He's saying
strong.
that. he is saying something stronger. He's saying that it doesn't follow from a given.
Yeah, that's what I mean when I say there's no reason that it has to. That there's no logical entailment there. So, for example,
it's more than an entailment. It's like not a connect. There's not a connection.
But what about a utilitarian that says, now that I've become a utilitarian, I should become a vegetarian?
No. It's the higher order view would be whether you're an intuitionist or utilitarianism is a positive ethical theory, right? So you could be an intuitionist, you could be a naturalist, you could be a sensibility theorist, and be a utilitarian, right? But you could be all of those things and be a deontologist, have deontological views.
Mm-hmm.
One doesn't inform the other.
Wait, you're saying that being a moral naturalist, for example, wouldn't inform your everyday decisions?
It doesn't inform what your positive. It doesn't tell you what's right or wrong. It just tells you what the nature of ethical properties are. Fundamental to the question of what is actually right or wrong.
Well, I don't understand moral naturalism in that way.
Look, moral naturalists disagree with non-naturalists about what the nature of ethical properties are, right? Non-natural. Say that ethical property.
You mean what property, moral properties supervene on?
Well, it's not necessarily a supervenience relation, but the point is they're taking an ordinary statement, rape is wrong, right? And they want to say it's in virtue, rape is wrong in virtue of the fact that it corresponds to a natural fact. Or rape is wrong in
I think we lost Jack.
I don't really understand what the cutoff is for a higher order view.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that either. Just that in this little article, Fish really wants to say they're on different axes, right? They're just not related to one another at all. Your sort of big philosophical stances and your mundane everyday decision making. So if they're not related to one another at all, to me it seems to follow that he's saying that the one can't influence the other. Not just that it tends not to, but that really it can't, because there really is no connection. And that to me seems just a little bit too big of a statement to make. And I'm just thinking my little example is a pretty good example. Somebody who believes in the correspondence theory of truth, for example, would never choose to do a constructivist type study, because to them, truth isn't constructed.
But I think what he means there is that, let's say, for example, someone liking the color pink is completely independent of them liking chicken right? But we might discover that those two things correlate together for people.
Okay.
I think that's
Oh.
what he means.
Who? Okay. Who means that?
I think that's what Fish is talking about. He's not saying that
Oh.
They can't be connected in some way. I just think he means they can't be connected logically.
Yeah. He's saying that the one can't guide the other and the other can't guide the one. Right? They don't influence one another.
Well, I don't think it's precise to say that they don't influence each other, because we don't even know. I mean, it could be the case that me liking Android rather than iPhone is somehow linked to what color socks I wear, right? Well, it could be the case, and we just don't know. So to make a claim that strong, I think, is not something he would even attempt to make. So I'm certain he doesn't mean that. But there could be all kinds of psychological connections of that kind that we're unaware of.
Right. Well, I wasn't even considering ones that we're potentially unaware of. Right. I just think that there's got to be at least one exception. Right. And
No, but that's to
my little-
misunderstand the nature of the relation between theory and practice. Right? Is to think, look, there could be a psychological.
Every time Jack
That's
comes
not
on
what
my
he's talking
channel,
about,
he
right?
disappears.
It's frustrating.
What? You can't hear me?
You were breaking up.
We hear you now. Yeah.
Now, when you say theory, you're not talking about scientific theory, obviously, right?
I'm talking about.
I had to close it down anyway, because Steve is
Why?
running. Steve's running his big celebration, and
You're giving up?
No, I'm not giving up. I just, it's. I don't want to. I want to go watch.
You're competing with Steve? Oh, you want to watch Steve? Oh, so you think that's going to be more stimulating?
Well, and also I can't hear you. You're, it's not great.
I don't sound good now?
Well, you do now. We could try a little bit longer, but I have a feeling you're going to fade out again. Or maybe what I'll just do is take it off air so that I don't compete with Steve, but yet we can still keep talking.
Now you're talking.
No one's going to watch this. Everyone finds this kind of thing boring.
I don't see how, but all right.
Alex